Hey there, YouTube. This is KSuper87 again. I just broke my stand for my camera. So I did do my trade binder video today with my camera, but I don't use my stand for that. And then I tried to do my real life version of Worms with my camera, and then it broke. And so I can't really sit it anywhere to throw the cards in front of. So I'm going to try it this way. I'm going to try it with a screen recorder instead. We're going to see how this is better. Let me know if you guys like this one better. Maybe I sound better because I'm not on the cam instead using my microphone. If you guys like this one better, let me know and I'll do them this way in the future. So we're doing, as you can see, probably we're doing my new version of Worms for the new format. Starting off, we have 3 Worm Xex and 3 Worm Yagan, and these are the important engine for the deck. X is an 1800 beater that sends a worm monster to the grave, Worm Yagan, which is usually most of the time. And then if he's face up on the field, then Worm Yagan can special summon himself in face down defense position, and he can, when he's flipped up, you can bounce one monster your opponent controls to their hand. So use it to bounce XYZs or the occasional synchro, or just like any problem monsters that are in your way. You bounce them to the hand, or bounce them basically out of play. And then it's kind of also your main rank 4 engine for the deck, and sort of what kind of gets you pluses. Then we have 3 Worm Cartaros, which is basically worm reinforcement in the army. Flip at a level 4 lower reptile type worm monster if you deck your hand. Pretty simple. Stats aren't anything to write home about, but I mean he has some attack, which is okay. Then we have my 1 Worm King, which wouldn't be here and if it for not for W Nebula Meteorite, but he's 2700, 2 tributes or 1 tribute with if you're tributing a worm. And basically he's Worm Gravekeeper's Descendant. You can tribute 1 worm, including himself, to destroy 1 card your opponent controls, and you can do this as many times. Like, it's good if you can get it out and kind of, because you can kind of just like set Yagans or Cartaroses or X and then tribute them before your opponent had his response with like torrential tribute or something. Then I also have 2 tour guides in here, just sort of a mini tour guide engine, just for a quick rank 3. I saw a lot of other world players trying this. I'm trying it myself. Basically in lieu of the Thunder Kings that I've taken out of the deck, at least out of the main deck because they're right here. But I was actually going to use 2 Silver Sentinels instead of these, but I don't have them yet. And so I was just basically going to have my Rabbit, my Tsukuyomi, and then my Worm lineup for my only monsters to attack with. But we'll see how Tour Guide runs. Being able to make Zenmaines whenever easily in this deck, in a deck full of traps, is actually pretty cool, and I like it. And then next up we have Wind-Up Rabbit. I'm still teching that one. I still think he's pretty good. Just an easy way to just keep a monster on the field and keep bouncing, as well as now with the Tour Guide in here, if I have a Tour Guide that gets Veilered, I can still use Rabbit if it came back to XYZ with Tour Guide if I'd like. So it's a little added option for that. And then finally, since he came back from the ban list, Tsukuyomi, I have a bunch of flip effects. I mean, if I have the ability to keep your control while constantly flipping Worm Yagans and Worm Cartaros face down, so I can keep getting their effects, that's really cool, and I want to use that. Besides the fact that Tsukuyomi can also flip opponents' monsters face down and run them over, depending on their defense, it's pretty good. So we're trying that for now. 2 Pot of Duality because it got semi-limited. That's one of the things. A lot of my other decks I only use Pot of Duality or none, but in here it kind of hurts to go back down to 2. Wish I could have kept 3. I also have 3 Forbidden Lance, which is something I've been trying as of late instead of just like triple MST as a main lineup, because it's like against heavy back row, it's hard to actually just get anything but blind MSTing. So I just, and of course there's warning, but I mean, if I summon an X and it gets compulsed or bottomless, or it'll get prisoned when I attack, I can lance it to save it, or anything else in the deck. Also, and it also kind of doubles as sort of like my 17th, 18th, and 19th trap. Well, alongside Book of Moon, but like because my monster attack is pretty low for like across the board for pretty much everything in here, except for maybe like Worm King and maybe some of the things that Tour Guide can make, but everything else is really small. So Lance reducing their opponent's monster's attack is pretty good. Then I also have 2 MST with a 3rd in the side down here, but I just maining 2. I was actually trying with Lance alone, and it wasn't working as well as it could have done. But now I'm going to try Lance with a couple MSTs so I can save MSTs for the important stuff. Like when I have, let's see, a face-up skill drain or a face-up macro or something like that. Then I have 1 book, 1 dark hole, 1 Monster Reborn. And then onto the traps. We have the best trap in the deck, and pretty much the best card in the deck is W Nebula Meteorite. It changes all face-down monsters in the field to face-up defense position, usually your own, which is usually Worm Yagan or Worm Cartaros. And then it flips them up, and then they'll get their effects then. And then during the end phase, you flip all light reptile monsters you control, so basically just your worms, face down. You draw 1 card for each, and then you special summon a level 7 or higher light reptile monster, which in this case is usually Worm King. When I don't draw him, because I draw him a ton. So there's that. 2 warning, because I know there's a lot of special summoning in this format. There's a lot of it. There's not a lot of actual control. Like even heroes will still, like bubble heroes will still special summon a bunch. Regular heroes will still have Miracle Fusion and mained Super Polys now because they have Escarado and nothing can escape Super Poly now. So I thought it would be a good idea to try to fit them back in. 2 Bottomless. I still think Bottomless is really good, especially now. 2 Starlight Roads because I need it. Like I said, if I can get Silver Sentinels, I'd at least try 1 to tech in something over here to sort of help Starlight Road make my back row really scary to hit. 2 Mirror Force because I've been given 2, so that's really nice. I went down to 1 Prison just because I'd like to respond to things rather than wait, because I think that's more important right now, especially with the new scary wind-up deck. 1 Solemn Judgment, and then 1 to Fiendish Chain with 2 more in the side to stop effects. And then onto the side, we have 2 Fossil Dynas to like help the Emptiness stop like crazy special summon effects. 2 Thunder King. I still think it's good. I just don't think it's good enough to main at the moment. So we'll try testing it. If I feel like I need to put it back in, these will probably would get dropped for them. But we'll see. 2 Crow to help stop certain things like Dark Worlds, which I hate that matchup for Worms, so there's that. I have 1 Super Poly to help me fight heroes, because I run a Shining and a 0 in my graveyard as well. 1 MST to complement the 3rd, to complement the 2 in the deck. 2 Goes in Match, because most of my monsters are light, and Goes in Match always puts in work for Worms. 2 Fiendish Chain to go in with the 3rd one, with the 3rd one in the main. 1 Dust Tornado to help fight spell trap removal. 1 Shadow Imprisoning for any dark decks, and then 1 Torrential. I kind of dropped Torrential from the main entirely. I was running 2, and I would always find that I would be sitting on them when I had Worms I wanted to protect. So I'm trying without Torrential in the main right now, and just Torrential on the side for certain decks that even if I have a field, if they start swarming past me, then I'm going to need to flip Torrential or lose. Then extra deck, we have sort of a whole slew of rank 4s. We have Maestroke. We have 2 of those because I love Maestroke. 1 Utopia, 1 Pearl, 1 Merrowgeist, 1 Papilloperative, 1 Zenmaister. And then for rank 3s, I have Zenmaines, Leviathan Dragon, Leviair, because Yagan will still get banished when it leaves the field, so I can get it back if I need it to, or anything my opponent's banished. Giga-Brilliant, and then we have Worm Zero, mostly for fun. But if I ever like sort of mirror a Worm deck, I can put in Super Poly for that. Or if someone's playing a Gate Hero Fusion deck, I can make it. And I just like Zero. His art is great. I just wish he was better, or he had some sort of themed fusion card. 1 Shining, 1 Zero for the Super Poly side, and then 1 Stardust Dragon for the Starlight Roads. And that's it for the Worm deck for now. I'm going to be using it. I might bring it to a regionals on the 30th. We'll have to see if I use that or frogs, or maybe I'll bring my Karakuri deck there, because they're doing pretty good right now. So we'll have to see how everything runs. All right, this is Chaos Rupert 87 out.